All right. It's time to shift our focus to, in fact, the breaking development that we are tracking at this point of time. US President Joe Biden has announced the names of 19 individuals who will receive the prestigious Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. The awardees include former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, fashion designer Ralph Lauren, and football superstar Lionel Messi, and former Defense Secretary late Ashton Carter. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to individuals who have made significant contributions to the prosperity, values, or security of the United States, world peace, or other notable endeavors. Investor and philanthropist George Soros will also receive this prestigious award. Through his network of foundations, partners and projects in over 120 countries, Soros has focused on global initiatives that strengthen the democracy, human rights, education and social justice. However, Soros has been a vocal critic of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and his criticism has sparked controversy in the past scenario as well. Now, viewers, joining me live on the broadcast for, in fact, the conversation on this regard is Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, who is a former diplomat. First of all, thank you for speaking to us. Appreciate you giving me your time. Now, Biden honors George Soros. How do you react to this, given the kind of controversies and the criticism that have, in fact, embroiled his name? Mr. Gupta, how do you react to this development that has just come, and what is in fact your first thought that arrived after you heard about this development?
Well, my first thought is that this particular award which President Biden has given to George Soros, it very clearly indicates that the Biden administration has been hand in glove with George Soros and other people in the deep state of the United States, which has been working clandestinely to remove certain governments which are not to the liking of the United States of America, the present government. They carried out this regime removal exercise in case of Pakistan. They heavily bribed, the political parties which were supporting Imran Khan. They bribed the members of the Pakistani Supreme Court. Then they shifted to Bangladesh. In the case of Bangladesh, they supported the Jamaat-e-Islami, and through its students' wing, they carried out a regime change in Bangladesh. They threatened Sheikh Hasina that either you give the St. Martin Island to the United States for making a naval base. If you don't do it, then we will change you. And since Sheikh Hasina did not agree to give that naval base, they changed Sheikh Hasina. Similarly, they carried out a regime change exercise in case of India. You remember all those blasts taking place, all those gas containers, gas cylinders which were found on the railway tracks in India. All those were the doing of the CIA and the various agents that CIA hired in India. Similarly, they carried out, staging of demonstrations in certain states of India. The American diplomats were meeting the members of opposition parties in Hyderabad, in Patna, Bihar, with a view to bring down the government. All this talk about the lack of democracy deficit, countries not observing democratic norms. All this is a facade to carry out or to implement what America wants to do in certain countries. Let's take the case of Bangladesh. When Sheikh Hasina was there, United States Biden administration was the first to complain that there was a democracy deficit, that it was not freely allowing all the political parties to take part in the elections. There was a lot of corruption. What is happening now? Now the Biden administration is quiet. The new administration there, the new regime in Bangladesh, they have killed a large number of people from the Awami League. They have killed large number of Hindus. They have burnt their houses. And United States thinks that everything is fine, that there is nothing wrong going on in Bangladesh. So this is because the present regime, Mr. Muhammad Yunus, is a crony of, these people, George Soros and Hillary Clinton and people in the Democratic left. So just because their cronies now sitting in power, United States is quiet. They have no problem with Mohammed Yunus.
Mr.
So all
Gupta,
this talk
also,
of,
I would just like to take a moment to highlight, in fact, one of the comments that have come from tech billionaire Elon Musk, who led the furious outcry, labeling the decision to award Soros the honor as a travesty. Musk also shared the video, in fact, of himself, where he said in a podcast that he believed that Soros fundamentally hates humanity, where in a statement from White House, what has in fact been stated that this award is being given for the great leaders because they are good people who have made extraordinary contributions to the country and the world at large.
No, these people, they have only lowered the prestige and dignity of the United States. India-United States relations, Bangladesh-United States relations, Pakistan-United States relations, they are no better than earlier. In the case of India, our relations were doing extremely well when Prime Minister Modi went to the United States in June last year, in June of 2023. Look what happened last year. Then the United States started picking up holes, in during our election time. It started picking holes in the arrests of certain opposition leaders, though in each case, these arrests took place through the legal route. Then they started supporting the Khalistanis in America and in Canada. So one by one, they were taking actions to bring down the Modi government. And just because they were not happy with our Russia policy. They didn't want Prime Minister Modi to support Russia in any way. They wanted India to disassociate itself from Russia. So, these countries like the United States, the Biden administration, they are doing all these policies just because they are wanting to change the regimes, just because they are not happy with the policies of certain countries. They think that the countries like India must implement their policies, must follow their dictates. And the award to Soros is a very clear example that President Biden has been working hand in glove with George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and other members of the Democratic left group, called the Deep State, which includes part of the current administration, members of the Congress, which includes people from the business community, journalists, and so on.
Mr. Gupta, while we are talking about this, it also reflects in fact what this means for the country or back home. When we are talking about what this means for India, there have been charges specifically for the association of Soros back with the Nehruvian family in here. So what does this in fact indicate, and how should India also react?
These George Soros and his foundation, they have been supporting a large number of NGOs in India. They have been carrying out their dirty activities through this Rockefeller Foundation, Ford Foundation. Ultimately, it's all the money which is coming from the American government, and it is being routed through various NGOs so that the name of the American government could be shielded. And George Soros is one of the front. And these people, recently they intervened in case of Syria, for instance. So their activities are basically going through these various NGOs, and some of the NGOs floated by the Congress party and other parties, they are also, getting support from George Soros.
All right. On that note, Mr. Yogesh Gupta was a former ambassador. Thank you very much for, in fact, detailing this and putting some light on what this means for India as well. Appreciate you joining me on the broadcast, and thank you for speaking to NewsX. Now, viewers, that is all the news of the nation and the world. We'll continue to track all the developments very closely. Till then, stay with us.
कभी सोचा नहीं था कि मुझे भी ऐसी बीमारी हो सकती है।